Hello viewers, this is Saurav here and you're watching Prag Digital. Well, with the increase in population today, the demand for energy is also in the peak. Nuclear has long been considered a great way to generate the power that lights and heats our homes. It can generate electricity without greenhouse gas emissions. However, a few terrible disasters in nuclear power plants around the world, people have become more and more aware that when not treated carefully, nuclear power poses rather a significant threat to our way of life. Well, to discuss this in detail, we have today with us on board Miss Archita Rajkumari. Well, she is a nuclear engineer from India, passed out from MIT University, Delhi. She is born and brought up in India. She is currently living in Germany and doing her second master's in Aachen University in nuclear applications. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Ms. Archita Rajkumari on board. Hi Archita, how are you doing today?
Hello, everyone. I'm good. Thank you so much for your introduction. That was really nice of you. Hello from Germany, and it's good morning here. So I guess it's good afternoon for you guys.
Of course. So how's the weather there today in Germany?
Well, it's pretty cold. It's always cold in Germany. It's going to snow from next week. So we are well prepared for that.
All right, it's going to be very pleasant then.
Hopefully. Let's hope.
So Archita, talking about your field of interest in the very beginning, that is nuclear energy. So when and why did you think of aligning your career towards the study of nuclear waste and its management?
So I basically started my interest in nuclear energy probably 9 years ago in 2012. So I joined Amity University. And in India, we don't have much places where you can learn about nuclear science and technology. Not every university has this course. And I started to gain interest since a kid because it's one of the clean energies in future. Because of coal and thermal conventional energy sources, there is a lot of pollution. We all know about that. India is an example of pollution country. So that's why I started the interest in this. And back in India, I studied the general engineering and the power sector and also the different applications of nuclear energy. And once I actually came to Germany, my focus field interest was more into nuclear medicine because also nuclear has a lot of applications in medicine, like cancer therapy and treatment and diagnostic. So, but as I ventured through, I realized that the waste management needs more attention from all the people, like especially from young generation like us. And similarly, also in India, the entire waste management section or the field has very less professionals and experts because all the old generations are getting retired now. So there are no new generation professionals or experts who actually put their interest into waste management. They are more focused towards the power plants, for the energy production. So that's the same scenario in Germany as well. There is a huge need of young professionals in Germany. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to go towards this section because it requires a lot of new people and also needs a lot of new researchers as well. So that's why I chose for this.
Well, that's a very noble work because you decided to step on and to carry on the legacy, right?
Right, correct.
Okay. So now let us discuss something about nuclear energy and nuclear waste. Our viewers would like to know what is nuclear energy basically is and how and why and when this nuclear energy is nuclear waste is created and how do we manage it and why it is very important for any country to dispose this nuclear waste in a manner that it does not harm the ecology.
Okay, perfect. So nuclear energy is basically created like the ones in India, we have 25 reactors, nuclear power plants actually. So we are very good at it, to be honest. And our entire nuclear cycle, the fuel cycle, the power plant cycle is very, very robust because it's very safe. We are actually very good at nuclear energy compared to other countries in the world. Obviously, Canada, America, France is one of the best because France uses 70% of nuclear energy for electricity. India, we were at 3%. Now we are trying to increase our percentage of usage until 6 to 10%. Let's hope that happens. So nuclear energy is basically created from fission. It's a more physical term where you use uranium as the fuel product, and when it does fission, it creates the energy along with neutrons. And that fission, that energy, is similarly just like any other thermal power plants like coal. It's converted into electrical energy, from mechanical energy to electrical energy, and that's how we get our electricity. So the rest of the second half of the process is similar like any other power plants. So that's what nuclear energy does. It is the solution for future because it's a clean energy. It doesn't produce any carbon dioxide or any greenhouse gases, which is a major issue right now for the world because of pollution. So that's why everyone, especially the international organizations or international countries, the member states of international organization, are actually trying their best to increase the production or increase the usage of nuclear energy, because right now we are already suffering a lot from global warming, as we all know. So this is the solution in future. Obviously, renewable energy is also there, solar and wind, which is also very clean energy. But the amount of energy that can be created from nuclear source is much more higher compared to wind and solar energy. So this is how and why nuclear energy is the future. And the waste actually comes from the nuclear fuel cycle, because as you know, we use uranium, which is radioactive material. So once it is used, the radioactive material has a lifespan. For example, humans have lifespan, right? We live until 60 years or 100 years, if we maintain our life. Similarly, each radioactive material has a lifespan. And they are not 100 years, they're more than 100 years, they are probably 1,000 years or million years. So once they use it, the waste, you have to take care of the waste that has been used. And there are various ways for that, which I can discuss in the later half of the session.
Definitely. As you have said that India is in a good game where, there are lots of nuclear reactors here in India. So what do you think? Is India in the green list where nuclear wastes are disposed in a manner that it does not harm the environment?
Yes, obviously. So recently, I actually joined a session in IAEA in the United Nations, and India was one of the countries who actually, talked about their system. One of the ways that India actually takes care of and how they do that. We all follow in the entire world, all the nuclear countries, the countries who have nuclear power plants, we all follow a certain regulations of management of waste, because it should abide the international regulations, so that it doesn't harm the world, the earth basically. And India is really good at that, because we have a lot of land, like as India is one of the biggest countries in the world. So we have a lot of land, available, which is unused. And so mostly the disposal of the nuclear waste. So there are three categories actually: solid waste, liquid waste, and gas waste, and there are various subcategories as well. So the ones which are very highly radioactive waste are disposed of in a repository underground, like which is probably 50 feet below the ground or below the sea level. And that's how we actually follow in India as well. It's a similar process where it is shielded by concrete and then put underground like 50 meters, 50 feet below, and it's safe after that. And as years go by and pass by, the radioactivity also decreases, and by the time everything is normal, like the soil is normal. So that's what the India nuclear waste management, one of the system is that. And that is what also international regulation, it follows the international regulation. So yeah, that's really good actually.
Yeah, of course, it is. And is it just we need to dump the nuclear waste, or we can create something best out of waste? That, as you have already heard, and we are very familiar with the term best out of waste. So is it only meant for dumping, or can we create some other sort of energy from the wastes?
No, actually, it's not just meant for dumping. So we are already doing this. It's called reprocessing of fuel. So the Indian nuclear fuel cycle that's why I'm telling that it's one of the best, because what we do is we recycle the fuel. Like, for example, once the fuel has been used, we still reprocess it because there are still some neutrons that can be produced from it. So we try to produce another, from uranium, we produce plutonium. From uranium 234, we produce another isotope, So we try to reprocess the spent fuel, the fuel that has been already been spent, and that fuel, we reprocess it and we try to take out as much energy and as much isotopes we can. And once we know that this is completely dead, that we cannot reprocess and recycle at all, and that also reduces the amount, the volume of the waste. So this is what we do in India, and we also do this in Canada and the United States as well. So that's why the Indian nuclear fuel cycle is the one of the best cycle, because it's a closed loop cycle. So after the waste, we also reprocess it and reduce the volume of the waste, and then we probably treat it and then dump it. So there are, before dumping, there are 2-3 steps that we have to follow. We just cannot dump it just like that. So there are 2-3 processes, and after that we dump it.
All right. So Archita, as we can see, and of course we know that you have been working currently in Rome as a trainee, and also in Italy with Sogin, which is a decommissioning company, right? So would you like to say something about it?
Yeah, actually, I have been working in Rome. It's like I'm always traveling from Germany to Italy all the time because of my work there. So Sogin is actually a nuclear decommissioning and clearance company. It's the only company in Italy who takes care of all the clearance of radioactive waste, or nuclear waste in Italy. And also it's doing a lot of projects with other countries, European countries like Bulgaria, Sofia, Russia, also Belgium and Germany as well. And my work is to actually find out clearance, like characterization of certain radioactive waste from a plutonium plant. So currently I'm working in a plutonium plant, which was in the past a research plant in Italy, in Rome. And it has been decommissioned, like it has been stopped. It's been many years that in Italy, actually, they don't support nuclear energy. So all the research plants, nuclear power plants, had to be stopped. And once you stop it, the process doesn't end there because it's radioactive. So the entire process starts after you stop, so that how can you contain it? How can you dismantle each and every floor or the building, So there are lots of process. And that's what I'm working on. How can I dismantle one floor of the building? And I'm researching on that. How can I do that? So.
You've got a lot of work on your shoulder, definitely, Archita.
Yeah.
And I can see that you are enjoying your work.
Yeah, I actually like what I'm doing because it's very fascinating, and you get to learn, and I'm getting to meet a lot of people, not only in Germany, but also in Italy. And there are so many, and they all need young professionals because, not a lot, like I told before, not all people focus on this section, especially also in Germany, it's the same case. And so it's actually more fun because you get to meet a lot of people, especially older generations who have a lot of experiences, and they want to teach the young generation what's going on and how to go forward with it. So yeah, it's kind of interesting.
It's always good, and it's always better to learn from your elder ones, definitely, right? Isn't it, Archita? Sure. So anyway, the next question comes up here. What happens if any human or any animal come in contact with nuclear waste?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so firstly, that should never happen because the process of dumping is not like just normal waste dump, because for nuclear repository, waste, we have a specific area where it's only for the waste of nuclear, and it will be also very protected and shielded by concrete walls and other kind of shieldings. But anyway, there has been an accident like that in India, in Delhi specifically, many years ago, because in nuclear medicine, for example, I think all of you guys know about MRI, CT scan, and PET scan, because for medicine, that's also actually from nuclear medicine, So this kind of, when you do MRI, you are injected with a certain radioisotope before you go for the scan. And so when you inject it, there is a certain kind of vial. So these are very short-lived radioisotopes. So these are not problematic waste, but still you should follow the certain regulations of dumping the waste in the proper way, So there was an accident in Delhi. I remember we studied about it. It was a case study for me. And someone basically, they just, wrap it up like a normal waste in a plastic bag and threw it outside in a, garbage trash can. That's it, Probably they didn't know, or they were lazy to follow the rules. And one
It's a
homeless
disaster,
person,
definitely.
yeah, that was a disaster. That was a huge problem. That was a huge case for India. But in the international outlook, it didn't, thankfully, didn't create any huge, like nobody died or nothing happened as such. So it didn't create that noise in the international, organization. Otherwise, it would have been a great trouble for India to, justify that, and probably we would have to deal with a lot of bureaucracies. So, but nobody died. There was a homeless person who got in touch with that, but he just suffered through like a little bit of sickness. That's it. But since it's a very less dose, like, in the activity, the dose is very, very less, because it's also given to human beings in nuclear medicine, So it didn't create any such problem.
Okay, so Archita, as we know that you have recently attended International Conference on Radioactive Waste Management Solutions for a Sustainable Future. That is the tagline of International Conference on Radioactive Waste Management. So, as the tag says, that solutions for a sustainable future. So, what are the solutions or benefits the humanity is going to get through sustainable use of nuclear technologies in the future?
Yeah, right. So I just recently this month I attended, it was in the United Nations in Vienna, and it was a very important conference because all the countries from Canada to States to India, Iran, South Korea, Japan, Sweden, everyone came up with their solutions, each country what they are following. And we all came up together in the United Nations, and we discussed and shared our each other's processes and how they are managing their waste in their country. And we all got to learn and exchange each other's technologies. That was very, very important. This is why this conference was done at the UN, so that we could come to a sustainable solution, like you said. So, like, for example, I one of the sessions that I was a co-chair, I held, in my session, there was from Japan. As you know, Fukushima had an accident in 2011 in March. So after the accident in Fukushima, how they are taking care of the waste that they had, because they had to shut down the entire 2 units of the power plant, and they are still suffering to, manage the waste that they had because of the tsunami that happened in Japan in 2011. And it was very interesting how they came up with a temporary solution for it, like for the rubbles. But similarly, India also presented the similar thing, like I told you before, like how we manage the solid waste and how we reduce the volume of it. So there are various technologies that already exist in the different countries of the world. It's just a matter of coming into collaboration with each other, and exchanging the technology, learning from each other, and coming to a common solution that we all face. So that's the entire moral. One of the morals that we learned in this conference is that we already have a lot of solutions that each of the countries are following, but we all need to come together in a collaborative way to help each other, help each country, and that's only going to help us in future for the future generation as well.
So do you think that nuclear energy is going to take over the non-renewable sources of energy that the humanity is using right now?
Yeah, at some point it has to, because fossil fuels, like we know, coal, is like creating a huge number of greenhouse gases, and we are suffering so much for that. For example, in India, Delhi, like during winters, there is smoke, you cannot see anything. So India is one of the top countries who suffers from pollution, and also China, Beijing is like completely red on the temperature field. So there are so many countries who are already suffering because of this. So definitely, this is why everybody is talking about nuclear energy, because we have to come to a non-renewable, solution after a certain point of time. No, we cannot survive just with wind and solar, because wind and solar is also a great source of energy, but we need more source of energy. As you know, population is increasing, so the usage of electricity usage will never get down. The demand will only be high. So you need more strong sources to, power those kind of electricity need in the entire world. So definitely nuclear energy is the future. It's already here. Like France is already using 70%. You can imagine.
Yeah.
So France is way ahead.
And as the stats says that they recycle 96% of their nuclear waste, and only 4% that is highly radioactive waste are being dumped out. Other than 96% of their nuclear waste is recycled. So basically, they are moving ahead from all other countries in the game of nuclear waste management, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
So would you like to add something more to it?
Yeah, I would actually like to talk something that, I would like to talk to the future generation or the young generation in Assam specifically, because when I started this journey, very few people probably knew about what I was doing, because also in my family, if they asked me and I would say, I'm studying nuclear engineering, I'm a nuclear engineer, they all only thought about nuclear means bomb, so they were like, okay, you make bombs. So it was very interesting for me as well to see that not a lot of people actually know what's going on in the other part of the world, because for example, in Europe, in Canada, in Russia, people are way ahead, and in India itself we have 25 reactors, but not everyone knew about it. So I really want to share this message that, please try to go towards the field that, whatever you want to do it, do your research and go for it, not just because somebody else is telling you, So follow the path, and probably you will always find a way. Like, for example, I wanted to start in Guwahati. I didn't have any place where I could start nuclear engineering because there is nothing in Guwahati to, learn about it. So I moved out to Delhi, and thank God I figured out, and I got into Amity, and so on. That since then I'm following this pathway of nuclear energy, And so yeah, this is my message, that just follow your dreams, and I'm sure you're gonna figure a way out on the way. So.
Very well said, Archita. And of course, I would like to add here one thing, that opportunities, it just knocks your door once, and when it knocks your door, just open the door and let it come. And if you miss it, you're gonna miss it forever, right?
Exactly. And sometimes you just need to believe in yourself, just believe in yourself and in your dreams, and automatically you will have opportunities your way.
Very well said, Archita. And it was really wonderful to have you here with us on board, and would like to talk to you in future also about your other projects. And of course, keep in touch. And for now, it's a wrap. Thank you so much, Archita.
Thank you so
wish
much.
you have a very good day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Same to you. All right. Perfect. Thank you so much. It was really nice talking to you.